Hello, hello. How you guys doing? Do you know what day today is? It's an exciting day today. Do you know what today is? It's Pansy Day. I've been looking forward to Pansy Day. Still getting my stuff out here to work with, but it's Pansy Day. Ooh, I see Glenn and Annette and Mary T.
That's what you see.
And that's who's here right now.
There's 8
Wow.
people, but only those that should be
And welcome also to the 5 of you who are
watching.
online. Well,
There's our friend Catherine and Annette.
oh, there's Catherine. Hello. We said hello to Annette, I think. Hello, guys. All right. I need
Super.
I'm gonna need this rinsed out, please. So, hello, Sue. Welcome, everybody. So today, hi, Mary T. We are going to get started with our Cherry Pansy. I'm going to be using the Cherry Pansy set with the die, with the stamps, and with the 3D shaping mold. We'll start with these and see how much time we have after we've made a few of these. We're going to start by stamping some of our pansies. So get our stamp platform out here. I'm also going to get a black hybrid pad, maybe. There it is. I had to dig a little today for classic black. Get our black stamping pad out here. And let's see, I need some paper. I need some white stamping card or 8x8. This will do right here. This will do. Okay. That didn't come clean this time, huh?
No.
Okay. It'll still work good. All right. I also have out my pearlescent paints. And I have a couple different water brushes. One came in it. And then I have another water brush out. I'd like to have at least 2 available. I actually have 4 more on my desk. I like having lots of brushes available. And I also have my mixing tray should I decide that I want to mix some colors. And let's get our paper cutter out here.
Hi to Oliver.
Hi, Oliver. How you doing, friend? There he is, my crafting buddy. Okay. I'm going to cut apart a couple of these bigger sheets of cardstock because they'll just be easier to handle. I'll cut them to 5 5/8, which will be half size. That should give me plenty to stamp on. All righty. Let's drop the camera and get going here. Want to remind us where we're going with these. Here's some of the cards that we will be making over the next 2 weeks, today and next Saturday. This one is different only in that it does not have pansies glued onto it because I did such a nice job coloring with my watercolor pencils on this one that I just didn't want to cover up my work, so I didn't put any added pansies on this one. The rest of these all have add-ons on them, and you can see that I've added on flowers, and these are the flowers we'll be doing today, the add-on flowers. I've added on flowers, and I've run them through my molds to give them lots of feel and texture. Between that and the pearlescent paint, they just really, really shine. So these are some of the colors also we'll need to make today if we're going to make these cards. We could make other colors too, I suppose. And this one has 3 add-ons on it. I actually have a few spare parts from making these. I don't think I have enough of anything. So these are just so pretty. Notice on this one that with the background mat, I didn't take all the pieces out. Since I had kind of a busier background with the little forget-me-nots on there, I left all the pieces in the mat, and I think that looks good. And here's our purple on purple. So let's start stamping. Got my stamp platform out here. Heartfelt Creations are big thick stamps. They're red rubber stamps. So first thing I'm going to do is take my stamping mat out. I would be using that if I were using, if I was using clear stamps that are lighter weight and not as thick. So I'm going to put down a piece of my stamping card. And just a good trick with any stamping platform is put that cardstock right up into the corner. It's important to do that so that if you, for some reason, need to reposition, you get right back where you were. That's important because if you want to double stamp something, you know, that you've already stamped, stamp it again. You get right to the right place to do that. So here's our stamps. You can tell mine are a little bit discolored because I've been using hybrid ink on them, which is what I absolutely recommend to you too, that you use hybrid ink. Why hybrid ink, you ask? And the answer to that is that with hybrid ink, I can use any kind of a coloring medium I want. I can use alcohol ink, or I can use watercolors, or I can use water pens. I can use whatever I want. And the color won't drag from one to the other. You always want to make sure that whatever you're using to color with, that you're stamping it in the opposite medium. For example, if I am working with, if I want to color with alcohol inks, I will always use either a hybrid pad or a dye-based ink pad. I will not use StazOn or other alcohol inks. If I want to color in watercolors, I need to use either a hybrid or I need to use like StazOn that is an alcohol-based ink. And that way, when I'm coloring, I'm not pulling my color from the lines of my stamping. And what you can tell from all of that is hybrid is absolutely the easiest because I can use that with anything. Hello, Elsie. It's good to see you, friend. Catherine's here today, right? Didn't I see Catherine? We showed Catherine's picture before, but I'm going to show it one more time because we didn't have everybody on our Thursday show. So this is Catherine, our crafty friend from France. Isn't she pretty? Beautiful picture, beautiful smile, Catherine. So this is our friend Catherine. If you haven't sent me pictures yet, please send me pictures. I will show you too. Okay, I've inked up my stamps. I'm going to close my stamp platform. I'm going to get a beautiful stamping of that. Aren't those nice and pretty and clear? Gorgeous. And I think I can turn this around and get some of the smaller ones especially on here. So let me get some more leaves and some smaller ones on here on the bottom, so we can make the most of our paper. We'll use more of the small ones than we will the big ones. So I stop and pick that up. The flat side of the stamp goes towards you. Otherwise, when you ink it all up, all you end up with is a big blob. So you make sure that the flat part of the stamp sticks to your platform. And the detail is going to be towards your paper. We'll get even just a couple more of these little ones on here. A little bit more ink. Close that. Let's move one more little one up here. Alrighty. There we go. Teddy looks so comfortable over there in his daddy's lap. He said, "Just love me, Dad. I need to be loved. Just love me." I'll go ahead and stamp another sheet of our pansies all over pansies. Can it go on there? I don't know. Yes, it will. Stamp these up. Okay, that's looking good, although I did get just a little bit of doubling there. My cardstock slid just a little and I didn't pay attention. And slide it back in. Take this one out. I think these will all stamp again. And let's get a little bit more up here. Now, a lot of times, if you're coloring with ink, Heartfelt is going to have you go ahead and, hi Mary, Heartfelt's going to have you go ahead and color them before you remove them from your cardstock with your dies. That way, if you make any errors coloring, you're just cutting them off. But when we're watercoloring, I actually think it's a little easier to color them after I take them out of the paper. I think it's a matter of personal preference, but just in case you're wondering when we get there. So I got lots of nice cheery pansies. I already had quite a few, so we have quite a bunch of them now. Clean my stamps off quickly. Get at least a little bit of this ink off. They'll still look dark because hybrid ink does tend to stain your stamps like StazOn does. Not badly, but they stain a little bit. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll put these away. I'm pretty sure we're not going to need these anymore today, since I have several sheets I already did. Come on. Go on there. There we go. All right. Done with the stamp platform. Put that away. And let's get, I'm probably done with that for today. I also have all these other ones I've stamped, so. Except I stole most of the little ones out of here. That's how I knew I needed so many little ones. Let's get our dies out here. We'll start with the ones we just stamped. Okay. Oh, who's got COVID?
Elsie.
Elsie has COVID? Doggone it. COVID is the gift that just keeps on giving, isn't it? Yeah. You have to find the right way for our dies to go on. When you get it matched up right, it will look great. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut several kinds here while we're cutting, because why not? Might as well get as many done off the sheet as we can while we're working on it. You remember our basic rule of thumb, which is that we always tape down our dies when we're cutting more than one piece. It's pretty hard, as long as you have quality dies and not just cheap aluminum things. Your die should pretty much last forever. The one thing that you can do that will damage your dies is to run more than one die through at a time and let them overlap. So to protect our dies, as well as our cutting, we're going to tape everything in place. That's the tape. I want to make sure I've got this lined up good, but one of the reasons I like to color them after I cut them out is if there's any little white spaces, I can take care of that with my paint. So I try to make sure I have them lined up really good, but just in case, I can pick up any little stray white stuff with my paint. Okay, that looks good. Let's go ahead and get our cutting plates here. These should be cut fairly easily, so we're not going to need a lot of extra shimming and things on these. They are nice, clean images without a lot of filigree, so I'm going to take out all of my extra shims. I still have a little bit of my weeding from Thursday. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Let's run these through. Yep, and they all cut perfectly. So I can just pop those back out. Okay. All those. Okay. Get some more of these little pansies since we know we're going to want those. Here's the little one. So we made extras of those. Let's move these off to the side for now. And I made little leaves, so we'll get some more little leaves on here too. I'm going to use my tape. Aliens landing in my garden, huh? Let's see. Do you still have this big leaf? I might as well cut out one over here. And I'll take these three out. Do they drive big biscuit trends? I don't know. I was just thinking about looking out the window and yelling, "Don't take my dog!" Because he's just too cute. I'm sure the aliens would want him. More little pansies. Now, do you want to continue cutting a few of these while I work on the next steps? I'll give you something to do instead of being bored.
Holding my puppy.
I know you're holding your puppy, but your puppy could get down for a few minutes. Just a few.
I don't think so.
You don't think you could? I'll set it up for you, then you can cut it. But we have so many of these here, we might as well cut a bunch of them out. Nope. That one is skew. I have these stamped close enough that one die is going to overlap the other one if I put that there, so I'm not going to put it there. Watch that when you're doing yours too, okay, Bryce?
What are we doing?
When you're taping your dies down, make sure your dyes don't overlap. So even though I was going to put that on that big flower, I opted not to because it was too close to the other one. Sometimes I can get so into conserving paper that I have to create problems for myself by getting them too close together. You just ran away with my machine.
No, I ran away with my machine.
Now it's your machine. Okay, I get it.
You said.
All right. Well, here you go. Here, sir. Your machine and your dice. You don't have to do all of them, just a good number of them, please. All right.
Tape.
Okay, let's get our watercolors out here. And we will start painting these. I also paint them before I mold them. So I've got my nifty watercolor palette here. Got my water brush. I'm going to put just a drop of water, one drop, into my palette so I can get the moisture started there. I love this mossy green color. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And one of the things I really like about these watercolors is they really pick up the color and go on so nicely. It's dark enough to really cover and light enough that it still shows the veining, which is perfect. And you can see that I'm not being fussy about what I'm doing here. If I wanted to make some of it lighter or darker, I absolutely could. I could mix some of this green with darker colors and get darker. And look how pretty this is. Get that beautiful shimmery watercolor. Like I said, it's dark enough to go on well, but light enough that the veining still shows through the leaves, which I really, really like. I'm going to pick up some more on this green one. And where I have a little extra white around the edges, like I have here. See how I have just a little extra white around the top there? Not going to show because I'm going to come in with my watercolors and go right over the top of that. It's just going to look great. Love, love, love the shimmer in these watercolors. These watercolors are from China, but they have I'm very pleased with the quality of the work I can do. And as I'm doing green, let me do a couple more here. Then we'll switch and start doing different colors of flowers. One of the other things I like about doing pansies is that there's no assembly really in the pansies. You don't have to put stamen in them and all of that. We're just going to stack them up, which makes them easy to do. So it's faster than making a lot of flowers. And yeah, with these watercolor pearlescence on them, they look like we worked on them all week. Isn't that fabulous how we get that color? I love them. Love them, love them. You can tell I really love this color because it's going to be the first color I run out of. But when you consider how many pansies I've already done, it won't be premature. It won't be running out disappointingly early. I've made a lot of flowers. Now you can also, as we've talked about before, there's so many different ways you can color these, and all of them have their attractions, and they're all pretty. You can use watercolors like we're doing. I could use regular watercolors, and then I would, if I was using regular watercolors, I'd try to go for more depth in my leaves by, coloring certain areas of the leaf in different colors. But in the pearlescence, I just like that they just grab the shimmer and go. You can use your watercolor pencils. You can use regular colored pencils. Okay. You have any? Well, that's all right. Let's start working on our flowers. These little pieces seem so little, don't they? This time I think this pad over here, what I like to do with this is get a bead of water through my pen and just wipe it off really good on that sponge. And then I can pick up other colors without risk that I'm corrupting the new color. So I'm going to use this light yellow this time. Still getting my little pad of watercolors saturated enough to let me pick up quite a bit. And I'm going to do everything in light yellow. Then I'm going to come back in and do other colors over the top, because it's easier. And I'm going to let the coloring on the mat itself dictate some of that. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to get some of this orange from the top row. A little water in there. My brush is stained, but I'm not corrupting the watercolors with my other colors because that little clean out we did was enough to get the job done. And I'm going to come in and put some darker color. And just keep mixing it till I get enough pigment in my brush to do what I want to do. Sometimes you need to swirl it around a little bit. And if I wanted to, I could also come up here and do these little lines. Hey, honey, can you come over here and pull this camera view in a little closer, please? I started to put my orange on there before I put the yellow on this one. So I'm cleaning my brush out again. I'm out of water in this brush. Close enough to see what I'm doing. There we go. That's good. There we go. I'll get you a view you can see. To fill this brush is really easy. Margie laughs at me when I do this because I don't run back and forth to the bathroom. I just use my spritzer. Okay. Got my brush wet again. Just screws back on there. I'm going to come in here and get some of this yellow. Oops, I do have a little bit of extra orange in there. Pick that up. And I'm going to come and get my little flower. The second one you do is easier to get a good saturation of color because it's set on the pan. You know, the water set on the pan for a little bit. I'm going to come up here to this orange and get some of the orange. Put in the center of this little pretty flower. This is very subtle but pretty. See? It's very subtle. They look good. I'll get those done. Gonna need a couple of those little ones, so let's do another one. Okay, I'm going to start with my yellow again, which means I need to clean this out. It would make sense to put all my yellow on and then start putting my orange on over it, because I'm not sure cleaning the paint out of the brush constantly is the best use of my paint. So continuing with some colors would be good. When you have a time, honey, would you bring me over one, at least one of the little, the tiniest pansies, please? I said we were just going to make the flowers today and make the cards next week, but I think as this is going together, I think we can easily, we can easily get at least a card or two done. I'm going to do all my yellow backgrounds first, which I should have done to begin with. It looks so bright and cheery on a dreary looking winter day out there. Okay, now clean my yellow off. I'm going to come up here and get some of my orange. I can make these as light or as dark as I want to. I have lots of color choices. And then I can make my own choices too. When I was doing the purple before, I took the purple from this palette and I added black to it. And I wondered if I'd still have the pearlescence, and I absolutely did. It was beautiful. So we'll probably do that again in a minute, because we'll have to make some purple ones, won't we? I think there are just some things that must be done. Purple flowers must be done. Hi, Sandy. These are so easy to use, guys. You don't need to be intimidated about these paints at all. They're just really quite good to work with. Okay. Next thing we need to do is, let's go ahead and make, let me see my cards here. See which ones we're going to make. I have that one. And my bouquet. Where's my bouquet? I have my bouquet. Just looking to see if I'm going to want a big yellow flower. Let's go ahead and do some of our purple ones. Now in this purple, you can see that I'm laying down a nice purple all around, and then I'm putting that lighter color in the center. So on these, I'm not going to put my purple everywhere. I'm going to leave the center white and then come back in with the yellow and do them. So let's do some purple. And I want all the orange out of our brush. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get some of this purple. Just one drop. Take a little stirring to get it mixed up to where I get some good pigment off it. And now I'm going to come in. I'm going to start at the edges. So the difference between this and what I did on the yellow and the orange is that because the orange was the darker color, I could put yellow everywhere and the orange would go over the top of it. But because my lighter color on this one is the centers, I'm going to go ahead and put my purple down on several of these before we get too carried away. Because my centers are lighter this time, I'm going to do the two separately. I usually tell you to put all of your lighter colors in first, and that's still not a bad idea. So just leaving this center area white. You have one more little one, honey? Okay, let's get rid of the purple. One drop of water. Smush it around good on our sponge. Thank you. It's a good idea. Well, now that I clean my tool out, let's do one more purple. It's a good idea to get lots of small flowers ready to go because of the way we use them on here. Because we're layering them. And as small as these are, once I layer them up, they're actually going to be fairly good size. So they'll be just a little over an inch, which will fit right over the top of our... I just did that all in purple, but I can get some yellow still in there. We'll use more small flowers than we will the big ones. That's my point with the backgrounds. Okay, now clean this out again. And this time, I'm going to go back to this orange we were using before. I'm going to pick some of that up to go in here. And then I'm going to come back in and put some yellow in there too. Do I do watercolor painting? Not really. I color my things, but I don't really do watercolors. I've taken all kinds of art classes, but I'm more a crafter than an artist. Don't worry about the date you send them, Kim. Just send them when you can, friend. This is all supposed to be fun, not pressure-filled. I haven't mailed mine yet either. Mine are often the last ones that go out. Let me get rid of my orange. I'm going to take a little bit of this golden color next to the orange, I think. This golden one. I'm just going to put some little highlights in my flower with gold. Just get some little pretty highlights in there. Don't even see it too much, but it is adding a little bit of depth to my color. Sometimes when I get done going over the centers, I'll go back in and put my edges back on because maybe I've lightened them up too much. And with this pearlescent, sometimes you'll look and from a different angle, it needs a little more paint. So watch for that. So I think I'm going to come back in with some purple as soon as I'm done here doing my highlights. Just come right around the edges and stuff again. Trying to stay on camera, which is difficult. There's little room as I've left myself here. I'm going to come back in with that purple now and touch up my edges, make them a little darker. I think that's one of the things that tends to be conspicuous about pansies is the richness of the color. So I don't want them to look like I faded them all out with my light shades. But that looks pretty now. That looks good. But as I'm holding that up there, see there's a place that shows white. See it there? I'm going to fix that while I'm at it too. They definitely can look velvety. I like pansies a lot. I like flower pressing. Glenn and I have that in common. We both use our microfleurs. And I enjoy flower pressing And pansies, of course, are like one of the easiest flowers in the world to flower press. They always turn out beautiful. So that's fun. I'm coming back in and catching these outer edges and any white along the edges of our flowers. Because we've gotten these damp when we're painting them, a little bit of that dampness stays in the flowers, so we don't have to spritz them quite as much as some other flowers when we press them, because they already have some dampness in them from the watercolors. Unless you let them dry completely in between, which I never do. Okay, did I get everybody? Even after I pull it out of the flower press, if it looks like it needs a little more ink somewhere, I can come back in and paint it. Okay, liking those. Now, let's do, like I said, we mostly use the little ones, but the big ones can be really good too. I love the big ones on the corners of these cards. Yeah, let's do a, let's see. I actually have a couple pieces here that are pretty good for the big ones. Already finished. This one needs some orange in it. Okay. So we have a couple big ones. We have some little ones there. Rice is still cutting over there, so I think we'll go ahead and do, how about maybe a blue one? Let's do some blue. I have done some other blue here I think is really pretty. There's 3 different sizes of flowers, guys. There's a medium one, a big one, and then the little one. So we have those started. Let's do some of that. So I'm going to go to my yellow, pick up some of my yellow for the center. Nice. Bit of yellow there. And this big one has like 3 ridges on it. I'm going to use those different ridges to lay down my color. So go ahead and do another 1 or 2 of these. You can curl the edge of the petals. However, we're going to run these through our mold. So they're going to get some texturizing from that. You could absolutely curl the ends of the petals more if you wanted to. We'll run them through the machine and see what we think. If we think it still needs it, we'll certainly do that. Okay. Next, we want some bright blue. I have a nice bright blue up here in the top. I'm going to give that one dot of water. Mix it really good. I'm going to get that nice bright blue on there. Next up, look how pretty that is and how pretty that goes on. Isn't that something? Get the next one. And I'm going to go out pretty much to this first line with the blue. And then just a little around the edges here. That looks beautiful. Get our last two pieces done here. Get our blue and come right out to that first line. Isn't that going on pretty, guys? Good night, Elsie. Feel better soon, huh? Okay, I'll wash that blue out of her brush. And now I don't need to wash it out terribly because I'm going to go to this next darker blue on my palette. I'm going to pick up some of that. I'm going to do that next ring with blue. So we're just going to come out to this next ring and just get a nice variety of color there. And I'm going to continue out to this next ring on my flower. You guys are going to be so glad you got these sets. These are so much fun to do. You're going to be really glad you got this. If you didn't get it yet, I still have a few left. But we are getting shorter on them. And the petals die is sold out at Heartfelt Creations. Okay. Heartfelt says they're not necessarily closing their doors on the 31st now. They're going to continue to work to sell through their inventory. They've got almost everything discounted now, but not everything. So there's a few things I'm waiting on to see if we can pick them up for you and have them available. A lot of the paper pads and dies are gone now, but we still have a lot of them. And to make it fun and affordable for you to find what you're looking for, I've matched most of the dies with the associated stamp and giving you a bargain price on both. Okay, next we're going to the purple. We're going to go back to that purple we were using earlier. These blue pretty. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go back in here. Get a little drop of water in there. Pick that purple up again. And we're going to get that beautiful, deep, rich purple around the edges. You guys are quiet today. I'd love to think that it's because you're so totally absorbed in watching me do this, but I think probably more so it's Saturday and you're all sleepy. Hi, Sandy. I'm glad that things will settle down for you for the Christmas season now, Sandy. Look how beautiful that is, and wait until we press that. Yes, sing me a song. Absolutely sing to me. I sing to you. Much to your dismay. That's why I'm not chatting much. Oh, because you're singing, Annette? So I guess I just have to use my imagination, huh? And you guys are all singing carols to me. Maybe Oliver will sing me Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Can you do that, Oliver? Is he still around, Annette? I'll bet my buddy Oliver would sing to me. See how easy this is to get those to look beautiful? You're singing the Beatles. Oh, you did learn a lot of English from them. That's terrific. Elegant Rose Sentiment Dyes. I'll have to look, Sandy, and see if I have it. I don't know if I have it or not. Mary R. can usually find things faster than I can on my website. If we have it, she might be able to tell us. Here, Liverpool French, Catherine. I like that. One of my friends I craft with here in town, Susan, went to the same high school that John and Lennon went to in Liverpool. I don't know how far apart they were. But... and he blushed. Oh. Hey, Oliver, I won't be able to hear you, but just knowing that you were singing to me would make me happy. Just knowing that you were singing. Because you don't have a microphone on your side. You guys talk to me via typing. But If your grandma told me you were singing at the top of your lungs, it would just make me so happy. All right. I think it's time to press some, don't you? Look at all these we have ready to go. We have all these pretties over here, too. All these beautiful pieces. I can't wait till you see them out of the mold. So let's get the mold out. He said, that's okay, and he ran off. Oh, bless his heart. That's okay, Oliver. I love you anyway, buddy. Catherine's singing the Beatles to me, so that's going to be okay. Okay, now we just got to fit them into the mold where they go. And know that you kind of need to press these in a little bit. And since they're a little bit damp already, they are absolutely safe to do that. Just press them down in there a little bit. Oh, you play requests? Okay, what do we want to hear Catherine sing? What do we want to imagine Catherine singing, I should say? Strawberry Fields Forever? Oh, look, Sandy, if I do have it, I will call you. How does that sound? If I don't call, it's because I didn't have it. But if I do have it, I will call you. Yellow Submarine, that's a good one. We all live in a yellow submarine. That's a good one. See, if I continue singing, Bryce will leave. He's over there saying, yep. That's what's going to happen. He loves me, but he tolerates me just so far. And singing is to quickly sends him to the end of that tolerance. Now, note that I can put more than one in a cavity if I want to. I know you guys always laugh when I say cavity, but that's what that is. That is one. I can put one, more than one in each hole. Get in the car and start to sing. James turns up the radio. Well, you know, the Bible says, make a joyful noise unto the Lord. That's my job. I'm joyful and I make noise when I sing. But, oh, yeah. So that's my job, is to make a joyful noise. I think I have enough flowers here to easily justify 2 loads through this. So I'm still going to spritz this, but I'm not going to spritz it as heavily because it already has the dampness on the flowers from painting them. Get my press push together here. That's true, it doesn't. Uh-oh, Bryce has my machine. Hey, honey. I have a new job for you. Please. You just got to put the plate on top of it and run this with the plate through. Hold it tight. Hold it tight when you're handling it, guys, because you don't want your flowers moving around in there. Welcome to all those other people who are watching out there that aren't signed in. I know most of you are my crafty friends that I talk with on the phone. Now and again, you're just a little shy to chat. That's okay. Is that working okay? Try the cutting pad. Put the cutting pad over the top of it and run it through. Sometimes I have to stop and remember all the sandwich combinations. When you put them in the mold, you put them upside down. So when it comes out of the mold, it'll have these neat little ripples around the edges. Thank you. So here's our big ones. And see how lacy and pretty they look along the edges now. I want to point out one other thing. See how we have a little bit more white edge showing now? It's just because it pushes into the mold and down, and those white edges are kind of forced up a little bit. We'll just fix that with a little paint. No worries. It's not a serious flaw, just a little inconvenience. But they're beautiful when they come out of the mold, aren't they? Especially with that pearlescence on them, because it really shows off all the, it really makes them shine. Love the leaves when they come out. Okay, this one didn't get done very well, so I'm going to push these two back in. Every once in a while, one part of the press just, for whatever reason, doesn't press quite as much. These little ones don't press quite as much anyway. But I'm going to run those through again. These look fine. We're getting quite an accumulation. And see, these leaves look great, even though I had them doubled up. So let's run one more load of these, and then we should have plenty of choices to work with. Let's see. That one hasn't gone yet. Get enough of them out on the table. I have to figure out what hasn't gone yet. That hasn't gone yet. Just looking for the ones that are flat. There's one that hasn't gone yet. Here's another little one. A little crossbar. And here's another little one. We're going to shove those down in there a little bit. And so Catherine raises a good point, though. If you don't have the mold, you could sculpt these flowers fairly easily by hand. Just take your big ball tool. Maybe I'll get one out here in a minute and show you. You're just going to take your big ball tool and kind of make them a little bit concave. So we're going to press it a little bit here and here and here. And then we're going to take a smaller ball tool and we're going to kind of crease these edges. We can get a similar effect if you don't have the mold. And here's another load, honey. Our last load of these, actually. Whoops. I found one more. One more that hadn't gone yet. Thank you. Okay. Now, I said we weren't going to build cards today. I'm reneging on that because we have a lot of flowers ready to go. And I don't see any reason why we shouldn't put an arrangement together. You guys see any reason why we shouldn't do that? I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do that. But I do need to come up with some background card. Let's see, I have the pretty yellow ones. Did I do the yellow ones? I did this one last time. What color do I want? What color background do we want with this, guys? Maybe a blue? What do you think? Thank you. Can you get me a background piece? Maybe some of that. Is that the Blue Lagoon? No, it's not. Not Blue Lagoon, Bay, whatever that was called. Tropical Bay is what it's called, I think. Look at all these leaves we have. We have so many leaves over here. All ready to go. These are so beautiful. I just love them.
This one?
Yeah, let's try that. Okay. I need one more thing, honey. I know, I'm pushing it. I want a background cut, please. This one you probably want to shim. Where are you? This one you probably want to shim. So I'm going to give you my shim. My magnetic shim is in bad shape now. But I'm going to put two shims, two cardstock shims in my magnetic shim in the machine. So these just need to go. These can go actually under your cutting plate.
Okay. What paper are you cutting on?
We're going to use white. That'll do. You can cut on this. But it might have to run through twice because it's a very detailed pattern. Thank you. Okay, let's cover our card. Let's get a card link here. Where is the Tropical Bay paper? The Tropical Bay paper is in cardstock, and that's in paper. So go to Product Styles, then Paper, then Cardstock, and you'll find the Tropical Bay paper. I could do this without a mat behind it, but I think the mat behind it is always pretty, especially in this blue. I think it will be. Annette said to tell you, this isn't the right blue, honey.
You said it was.
Well, it's not glimmery, so it's not the right one.
Margie took it. I told you. I don't know where she put it.
There should be a small pack in that shelf too. Annette says that your nap sacrifice is noted. You see the little one? We used it last night.
It's not put away.
We should have more than one pack of it there.
You're welcome to come look, but it's not here.
Aha! Aha! There it is. There's our glimmery bay color. He found it. So we're going to cut ourselves a mat. Let's cut ourselves a mat. I think we'll leave a little white border around the outside because I actually think that might be pretty. So we're going to cut a mat that is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Got a beautiful piece of sparkling bay cardstock. That's going to be pretty. Look there. Isn't that gorgeous? Let's go ahead and glue that down. Where is that, Deb? What is what? Where is what? Thank you. And next week we're actually going to make these backgrounds, but I already had one pre-made, so where is the tropical bay? Okay, so go to products, then go to paper. They're alphabetic, so go to paper, and inside paper there's one that says cardstock. Look how pretty that is. That's beautiful. And then we're going to add our pearlescence. Oh, look here. This is going to be beautiful. But we're going to put this on first, I think. Here's our matte, fresh from Brace. We just finished our mat. I want to tell you which mat this is. A lot of you have this already, but if you don't, it's absolutely one worth having. A lot of you would have it already because when we first started doing the discounting of the Heartfelt Creations, I offered a special that said if you bought $100 worth, you got a free die. And a lot of you guys got this die because this is the one that was offering for free. Sometimes I leave these little pieces in here because it can look really neat if the background paper is busy, where our background paper is blue. I think we want all the details, so we're gonna go ahead and is it not there, Annette? The page has been moved, huh? I'll have to figure out where it is for you then. Can you try typing Tropical Bay in your search window and put quotation marks around it, so it will only show you where that word, where those two words flow in that order. Get rid of these before I have them all over the floor, because that's what's coming next. I know it. All right. This is beautiful. We get our bouquet. Put in the middle here. That's going to be gorgeous. When I click paper, it's been moved. Okay. That's weird. I'll fix it for you. When I'm done here, I'll fix it and get it back where it belongs. This is a nice place to use my little needle nose glue bottle. When I start working on painting these flowers and stuff, sometimes I spend a whole day just painting because it's so satisfying and kind of Zen activity. It's not at all difficult, but they turn out so pretty. So I can spend a couple hours easy just painting, just for fun. Okay. Put that down on our background. Now, we might want, I don't know how I got glue on there, but I did. I think we might want to prop up this background a little bit. So let me get some foam squares out here. Let's put some foam squares. Can you come out just a little bit? I'm having a terrible time staying on camera. There we go. Just put a few foam squares on the back of here to hold everything up nicely. That'll give it a little even more dimension. It's even more fun to do it yourself, Catherine. I do love the way they turned out, though. Now this background dye that we're using right here, this flower is the bouquet, and I believe the bouquet comes with the teacup. Don't quote me, but I believe that's true. I'll put plenty of foam squares on here because this actually has quite a lot of detail. I want everything to stand up at attention. Okay. And we'll peel all the little tabs on here. Well, it's kind of cool that you guys are getting more than advertised today. If I'd have thought about doing this on the blue, I might have made these leaves on this a little bit more blue. It could have been pretty. I could still add a little, but I don't think I want to add too much. Okay, I think we got all the little tabs off. I think we'll put our bouquet right in the center here. That's pretty. I got little, whoops, didn't take the tab off of that one. Little tabs under all of my little blooms and things there. So here's where we are. Now we're going to go get some of those little flowers we just made. Well, we need to bring our ink back or paint back in because I think we'll need to do a little bit of touch up on these after they've gone through the press. And I have room for 3 blooms. How did I get glue all over? Because my glue bottle's dripping. That's how I got glue all over. I at least feel a little better. I wondered what on earth I did. Okay, so I'm going to get my paintbrush and my paint back out here. And I'm just going to touch up these blooms a little bit. I have just a little white around the edges. From where the mold kind of pushed the edges up a little bit, made more of the white show. So we're just going to make it disappear. It's not unusual for that to happen. It's fine. We're just going to come back in and touch up just a little. Anywhere there's a little white showing, right around the pieces. And let those dry just a second before I glue them together because they're actually pretty wet from the paint. This is really, really a fun activity, guys. I know I say that all the time, but it's true. This is really a fun activity to do. I think the thing about it is that it's so easy, but it looks so good, you know? It just looks so nice. It looks like you're an artist. But it was easy. Just don't tell. Don't tell anybody it was easy. Okay. We have resolved all the little white edges, and they're looking beautiful. So I'm going to put a spot of glue down on the double in the center. And then I'm going to put the tri-petal one over the top. And then we're going to have our little 3D flowers. And I'm going to put a little foam behind this. I actually kind of want this to be higher in the center, so I'm going to put 3 and then just kind of really push it down to my paper to see if we can get that little raise in the top of it. Okay, we got a nice little 3D flower on there now. Gonna get another one. A little bit of glue right in the center. I'm gonna stack the two. I'm going to put some foam squares under it. The toy store exploded. Maybe he needed a little extra comfort since Debbie was giving him a hard time about singing. He just needed friends. That's okay, Oliver. I like to have my friends around when I'm feeling nervous too. You don't have to feel nervous. I'm not going to make you sing. And here we go. A little here. Thank you, Mary R. Tigger. Tigger's a good stuffed animal to have. I like Tigger. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Woohoo! That's what Tigger does. Woohoo! Back up just a little, honey. What do you think, guys? What, pass muster? Isn't that pretty? If we wanted to, we could put some corners and borders around it, but I don't think it really needs it. So we have this one today. Next week, we will also do, we'll have to make these because I'm all out of the other backgrounds. Here's the teacup, and the teacup and the bouquet are on one of the background dies. So you get both of those together. And then we have this spray. I think we'll make two of these sprays because I love the way this looks. Or the spray can be single on the card, which also looks beautiful. And then we also have this frame, which is done on this one. This is very purple on purple, so you kind of have to look for the flowers on this one. And we'll talk about, next week, we'll talk about how to paint this teacup. See how it actually kind of almost looks rounded with the shading? We'll talk about how to do that next week too. Are there any? Well, first of all, if you haven't already left thumbs up, please do that because that will make me feel terrific. And it helps YouTube to know that this is a channel that people feel good about watching. And then they feel better about recommending us. So please do that. Once we go off the air, give it about 30 seconds, refresh your screen with that little round arrow, and it will pop up a place for you to make a comment. The comments are great because they also tell YouTube this is a good place to be. So that's always helpful. And then for those of you who are not yet subscribers, if you're watching this and you're not a subscriber yet, hit that subscribe button. We're doing fun stuff all the time, guys. and you don't want to miss any of it. So our classes are always fun. Our classes are usually pretty easy, and we make beautiful things together. So if you don't have your kit yet, I still do have a few kits left. If does anybody have any questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom about anything we've talked about today? Anything at all that you need clarification on? Wasn't quite clear? Just thank you, Catherine. Is there anything at all? If there are no questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom today, I will be back on Wednesday for What's New Wednesday. Brittany has a whole big box of beautiful new things for us to look at, and there may even be a really significant discount or two in the lot. So look forward to that. I'll see you on Wednesday for What's New Wednesday, and next Saturday we will finish making our beautiful backgrounds and use up some more of our flowers that we created today. In the meantime, stay well, stay healthy, enjoy the season, and we will see you next week. Good night, Gracie.